I've worked in corrections for about 20 years, and I have two strands in my training. So for about 9 years before I got into corrections, I lived as a Carmelite, which is a Catholic religious order, where I studied philosophy and theology, and I was ordained as a deacon in the Catholic Church. So I have a religious, spiritual background. In the last 20 years, though, too, I've also been trained in corrections in terms of treatment, what works with people, what doesn't work with people to lift them out of crime. So I have a whole treatment, correctional side of me. And I've always seen my work as crossing these two domains and bringing the research into the field. So I'm able to read research and do research, but what I love doing is actually working in the field and bringing that work into the field and implementing it in a way that brings about some change and growth and development in the field. It just allows me to get closer to my real self. That's how I experience it. There's something very, very subtle about it that just seems to, it's like a little drop of water every day, just kind of gently falling on a leaf and just bending the leaf a little bit along this direction. And that's how I feel myself personally and professionally. It's kind of just giving me a little, okay, this is who I am, these are the gifts I have, this is how I can kind of work the best in the situation. I'm at an age now where I don't want to spend my time running around doing all sorts of things. I'd like to focus a little bit more and be a bit more creative and bring what's uniquely me to the table. So it's helping me to find my own voice, both professionally and personally. We have so many people in prison who are impulsive. Their nature is to be impulsive and they have low self-control. And what we know, we just know this from the research and we know this from observing them, when they are presented with a choice, there's an open purse on the table and they see $20 bill. I could steal that. They do it. They just act on impulse. They couldn't say, I could steal that or I could not steal it. Or maybe I could just go to my work because, you know, if I don't go to work, I'll be late. Forget the $20 bill. You see that impulsivity? So if we could have an impact on that we just give people a little gap, everything happens in the gap, but for our folks, there's no gap. So if the TM can just allow people to just think differently, have a moment to think, will I take it or won't I take it? If we can do that, then I trust that the people themselves will not take it because they want what we want. Because the research says that when people change any behavior, anything at all, whether it's getting out of crime, whether it's reducing weight, whether it's going on a diet, whether it's exercising, 40% of the success in the change process is the people themselves. So if you could just create an environment of healing, an environment that allows this goodness to ripple back up, I think the sky's the limit. And I think the public could save a great deal of money and really we could create a lot better society, a much more humane prison, a much more effective prison. I knew that the men needed something in their lives, and we have all sorts of people, men and women. Some of them are very involved in their own faith group. Some are not particularly drawn to religion at all. In fact, they're a little bit afraid of it, but they are drawn to nature, they're drawn to a spirituality, maybe a higher power. That's the second group. And then there are some people who are clearly just not even interested in that. They're just interested in humanity and life. So you might call them humanists or secularists. They don't have any interest in religion or they don't really have an interest in spirituality. But each of these three groups make meaning in their own way. One is religious, one is spiritual, and one is true humanity. And I knew that we needed things, we needed programs, we needed a way of reaching all of these folks. And that's what attracted me to the TM. Because TM is clearly not a religion. There's nothing religious about it. So what it can do is it can work with all three groups. If you're religious, you're Catholic, you're Muslim, you're Buddhist, do TM and take that into your tradition. If you're spiritual, you love nature, you believe in a higher power, do TM and take that into your tradition. If you're a humanist and you believe that the world is bounded by humanity, by our life on this earth, do TM and take that into your tradition. So that's the beauty about TM. It's perfect for us in a prison situation because anybody can do it. It's easy and it's accessible to everybody, no matter how you make meaning in life. That's why I was really interested in it, because I know we've so many people who have so many needs. I said, boy, this is something that everybody can work with no matter what their belief. And the other thing I like about TM is that it's got nothing to do with a belief system. There's no philosophy you need to believe. There's no set of beliefs you need to believe. So you don't have to change anything you think about. You just learn more about yourself and how to kind of get in touch with whoever you are.